Hello and welcome to Ask MotorInc, where we answer your questions, especially questions about your life on the road with your vehicles, not necessarily about which vehicle to buy. Now, the questions that we've selected right now are from circles which you've directed to Shumi, to me, or you've just been talking amongst yourselves about some of these. Let's see if I can help you out here. The first question is from Pranjal G. He's a new driver and he's got a new car, a Virtus GT, which is cool. But he got into a fender bender, which damaged the bumper. And since then, he's been feeling a bit anxious. He's been feeling stressed about driving the car, and he's been getting into more light scrapes and bumps here and there. Pranjal, I think you need to lighten up. And for that, you need to drive your car at a time of day, first and foremost, when the traffic is light, when the conditions are easier for you. Drive the same route that you would on any normal day, which is where these incidents have happened, so that you can take time to get used to the car on its own. Once you've done that a few times, you will automatically feel more relaxed behind the wheel, and that is key. As a newer driver, I can understand that you're anxious about driving, you're anxious about keeping your new car safe, but that will get in your way if it gets too much. So you need to work that down, calm down, relax, and enjoy your new car. And once you've done that, getting back into traffic will be far easier and far more enjoyable. The next question is from VK, and he's from Bengaluru, and he rides and drives. But specifically talking about driving, he's asked what can he do to better manage the chaos of Bengaluru traffic, which includes driving in tight conditions and parking. Now, this is a really good question, and this has some simple exercises that you can do to get comfortable with your car, some of which are really helpful if you're driving a manual. He has a Ciaz, and I'm guessing that is a manual. Now, one of the things that I would do all the time to understand the car and how it works is to let it run in one gear. Let's say put it in first and just let it run at idle. And then I would lightly apply the brakes to see how slow can I go before the engine would actually stall. I would do this in second and third, which allows you in traffic to actually run a little bit lower than what the gear allows without having the need to change gears. This will help you understand the car just from the sound that it makes, understand when it's lugging a little too low. And aside from that, getting used to the size of the car is something else that you can also focus on. Now, this is something I would do in a parking lot regularly. I do it even now with some new cars, especially if it's a big change of size from the last car that I've driven. I would just park in the parking spot and go as close to the wall as I could. I wouldn't just keep pushing. I'll park, I'll get out, take a look, and see how close I've gotten, get back in the car, and see if I could go a little bit closer to the point where I feel that that is enough. This is helping me build a sense of size of the car, how far away I am from the wall, and that will help when you're in bumper to bumper traffic. The other thing that you can do in a parking spot is take different lines, turn at different points, turn the steering all the way, drive in, and see how close you've come to the intended position that you want. This will again give you a sense of how much the car is turning, how much you can maneuver, and also give you an idea of how you can make your way through traffic then. These are simple exercises that can be done in a parking lot. It can be done out on an open field, wherever you can get space and basically not have any disturbances around you so that you can focus on what you're practicing. The next question is from Rohit Basi, and he's asking about tips for negotiating the price of a car. Rohit, I think the important thing there is you aren't just negotiating the price of the car, you're cracking a deal. And so that relationship starts a lot before the point when you finally agree to a price. One of the things that you have to keep in mind with any transaction like this is to give yourself time. You have to be relaxed, and your counterpart on the other side has to know this, which means you are willing to walk away if things are not good. But the second thing, along with that, which is important to also communicate, is intent. To be absolutely clear that you intend to go through with the transaction if things are right. The third part in this, which you have to know and keep in mind, is where do you hit your sweet spot? Sure, sometimes you could get a better deal from somewhere else for another 10,000 bucks, but it may not be the right color, it may not be the right spec or right year. So you have to be clear about what is valuable to you. If you're willing to give yourself time in making this transaction, go visit the dealership several times. talk about what you're looking for, what you're willing to do, and then finally, when you have it, get down to business and be serious about closing that deal. As likely as not, if the car is not a super popular one, you will get a good deal in it today. We have another question about better driving, and this is from Vivek on the move. He's asking, how can I be a better, more confident driver? The problem that he seems to be coming up against again and again is getting into potholes without really spotting them early enough. I think, Vivek, the thing that you have to remember here, and something that we follow everywhere, whether it's on motorcycles or on cars, is to look far. Vision is important because that's allowing your brain the time to respond to conditions that you may run into. And the pothole is the same as that. If you're traveling in slow moving traffic, that will be hard to do, which is to keep a massive distance without having somebody else squeeze into that space. But even in those conditions, it's easy to track the wheels of the vehicle in front of you to see if it's running through any rough surfaces and then prepare your car accordingly. When you're traveling faster at higher speeds, you'd do the same thing but from a further distance away and also giving yourself time to read the road for yourself in those scenarios. The big and the easy thing to keep in mind is a simple trick is to have a long vision so that your brain is just getting more time and more information to absorb, process, and then protect you and your vehicle from any instances that may come your way. Our next question is from Adri, and he's got a new car. It's a Franx Delta 1.2 AGS, and his question is that the fuel efficiency on his car seems to be a bit low, which is about 12.5 kmpl. Now, I'm assuming that this is for city conditions, and in that regard, again, I would have to assume, let's say, if he were in Mumbai, that kind of fuel efficiency in heavy commuter traffic is all right. It could do better, but that's also okay. Now, the big thing is Adri's dissatisfaction with the fuel efficiency. Was he expecting more? Was he getting more from his previous car? And that's the question. What is your benchmark? If he's comparing it to his previous car, which was a smaller car with a smaller engine, then this fuel efficiency will continue to disappoint him. I have friends who've compared their diesels with new petrols and said that, well, the fuel efficiency really isn't great. But those cars that they're talking about are actually pretty good by current day standards. So the reference that you are comparing it to is important. But please understand that if a car is good enough to drive, something that you enjoy driving and traveling in, if the KMPL is down by a little bit, it won't make a real difference in the long run, as long as you enjoy what you're driving. And that was our first episode of Ask Motoring. Yeah, I know, the second episode of Ask Motoring, but the first one for the cars. If you have questions that you'd like to ask, head over to the MotorInc app and post them in circles using the hashtag AskMotorInc. We'll be picking the questions every week from there and coming back to you over here with the answers. Also, while you're on the app, keep in mind that Disconnect Season 3 is now playing exclusively on the app. Thank you so much for watching and look forward to your questions.